Hello, this is Lewis Michael.
And this is Gabrielle Christensen, your co-host.
And welcome to the podcast. Hey guys, this is Lewis Michael. Unfortunately, this is going to be a little different with this podcast because the audio actually messed up on the last one, and so we had to re-record it, and Gabby wasn't able to make it in today to be here, so I'm gonna just do the main topic, which is Zack Snyder's Justice League, and hope you guys enjoy it. If you are new, make sure to check out our other ones so that you know what we normally do in our podcasts, and make sure you check out all the links and that we have in the subscriptions or show notes. And I create a monthly comic based off of the podcast called Geeking Around the webcomic, featuring me and Gabby as anime characters. And there's buy me coffee, so if you like to help out with the channel, you can go there. We also have a store where you can buy t-shirts and stuff, and that says Geeking Around, and it also has our avatar character on it as well from the webcomic. And you also can find my Kira, a Star Wars Stories fan comic as well in the subscription. Make sure you check that out, like and subscribe. So let's get on to the review. Zack Snyder's Justice League movie review. We live in a society where Zack Snyder had finally been released on March 18th. After waiting 4 long years, the fans of dceu had the pleasure to witness director Zack Snyder's original masterpiece, The Justice League. Having just completed principal photography back in 2016, Zack Snyder stepped down from the film due to his daughter's tragic passing. Before he stepped down, Snyder and executives at Warner Bros. Clashed over creative differences. Warner Bros. Felt the director's vision was too serious, dark, and lacked humor. And in response to capitalize on Disney's success with Marvel, Warner Bros. Hired Joss Whedon, the director of The Avengers and its sequel, Age of Ultron. Under the orders of Warner Bros., Whedon undergoes a series of extensive rewrites, reshoots, and re-edits, leaving what now known as the Snyder Cut on the editor's cutting floor. In 2017, the audience left the theaters baffled and disappointed after watching what is now known as the Whedon Cut. Fans felt the Whedon Cut was disconnected both in tone and in story with the earlier films directed by Zack Snyder, and felt as though it was a Marvel film with the DC Comics logo on it. Whedon not only reshot 80% of the Snyder Cut, the dark and serious tones all replaced with the light-hearted tones and ill-fitted, inappropriate jokes. Ray Fisher, Ezra Miller, Rose as Cyborg, and The Flash was significantly cut down. Zack Snyder once said before stepping down as director, Cyborg was the heart of the film. Following the disastrous release of the Whedon Cut, legions of dedicated and loyal fans of Zack Snyder and DC Comics campaigned for the release of the Snyder Cut. Fans used the hashtag #ReleaseTheSnyderCut or simply the Snyder Cut to post on all social media platforms, causing the hashtags to trend multiple times throughout the years. Fans even emailed executives at Warner Bros. Calling for the release of Snyder's original cut of the film. Many of these executives, as well as film critics, lied to these fans on the existence of Snyder Cut. On May 28, 2020, director Zack Snyder took to social media and finally announced the release date for Zack Snyder's Justice League. Zack Snyder's Justice League was released on HBO Max on March 18, 2021. The visionary director delivered the fans a truly ambitious and extraordinary epic. With its runtime of 242 minutes, Snyder was able to finish an aesthetically consistent trilogy for the dceu films. With this long runtime, characters such as Cyborg and the Flash are given a much dissolved backstory and character development. Snyder's statement holds true as the breakout performance of Ray Fisher as Cyborg proves to be the heart of the film. Gone are the cheerful tones and unnecessary Marvel-like jokes. The director returned to the bleak mood with some properly insulted jokes. Zack Snyder showed to be the imperial filmmaker as opposed to Joss Whedon in both creative and technical aspects. Fans are given visually striking cinematography, most notably in the Justice is Grey version, and breathtaking scenery. Zack Snyder even demonstrated a better understanding of color grading by creating an atmospheric mood throughout the film. The Whedon cut seemed to use a bad Instagram filter and overused orange hues as a replacement for actual color grading. Cyborg and the Flash are not the only characters in the Snyder Cut to be improved. Most notably is Steppenwolf, and Zack Snyder's Justice League, the alien military leader, is giving a proper backstory, motives, and more sinister design. And the Whedon Cut, Steppenwolf motive seems to be all for the sake of mother and funny internet memes. Joss Whedon has always been known as a champion for feminism by having created many TV shows featuring strong women. However, many of the female characters like Wonder Woman and Mara are more empowering and frankly more badass in the Snyder Cut. Ben Affleck is given even more praise for his role as the Dark Knight, and Zack Snyder's Justice League Batman has a larger role in the film as Affleck embodies Frank Miller's Batman from The Dark Knight Returns. The Caped Crusader is no longer a weak, depressed character. In fact, Batman leads the team in a counter-strike against Steppenwolf. All members of the Justice League seem to all get the highlighted moments equally. In the end, Zack Snyder's Justice League vastly exceeded in many different aspects over Joss Whedon's Justice League. The director delivered DC Comics fans a truly visually stunning and deep in-depth characters inside a masterpiece film. Fans had already started campaigning for a continuation of the Snyderverse and hoped that Warner Bros. Will restore the DCEU films. Hashtag restore the Snyderverse. So I truly loved this film. Everything about it was so much better than what the Justice League by Whedon was. And to be fair, it probably wasn't really Joss Whedon that was making all these changes and stuff. It probably was really more from Warner Brothers, and like I said, he under the orders of Warner Brothers, and that was me trying to make a homage to Star Wars Emperor Palpatine saying execute Order 66, and I feel like that what the executives at Warner Brothers told Joss Whedon to do. Now we keep hearing more and more stuff about how they pretty much trying to remove Zack Snyder's Justice League, and like they consider that not even canon. to the rest of the films. And like we held just recently, they canceled two films, an Aquaman spinoff and the New Gods Dark Side movie, simply because it would tied into Zack Snyder's Justice League. And I just don't understand why the Warner Bros. Executives and stuff hate Zack Snyder's movie so much. Yeah, it may not make as much as what Marvel is making, but you gotta remember that that is from Disney, and no matter what Disney put out, the movie will be, well, not it is actually good or not, will make bank at the box office. Well, not it's Marvel, or look at Star Wars. Those films, although made money, like each one of them, other than Solo, they didn't make as much money as what Star Wars should have been making. And the Joker movie with Todd Phillips and Queen Phoenix just proved that you don't need to be like Marvel to make a great film and make money from it. I think they think that if they make it like Marvel, then everyone is going to love it. And I think it's stupid to think that. I mean, it may work for Marvel, but it may not work for DC. And this is really more of a internet meme thing, but than actual truth. But the thing is, DC has always been kind of more darker than what Marvel has been, and especially these new comics, especially like the new 52 comics, they all feature all these superheroes more in a dark atmosphere than Batman has always been dark, other than like the Adam West Batman era. But the number shows that people are repeatedly watching the Snyder Cut, both versions. There's the black and white Justice Gray one. I watched that I don't know how many times, because the cinematography in it just makes it that much better when you see it in black and white. And it reminds me a lot of the old films of like French New Wave of filmmaking that was huge inspiration for people like George Lucas and Martin Scorsese and all those type of guys from the 70s and stuff. I think it was a British film, not a French film, but it had that same style. And I want to say Near Dark or something like that. I want to say it had like Audrey Hepburn in it, but like it was a horror film or scary movie. The cinematography reminds me a lot like that, or at least the black and white lighting and stuff reminds me a lot of that. Like I can't quite remember the name of it, but yeah, it showed that people watched the Justice League way more than what they was watching the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which Disney Plus has been dominating since they have released back in 2019. I think The Witcher was the only one that came ever close to beating a Disney Plus TV show or a movie or original content on there that was released on there. Godzilla and Kong just came out, so it'd be interesting to see how much viewership that got over this Justice League. I mean, I would say it would get more simply because it's more like a Michael Bay movie than anything. It's just gonna have a bunch of big special effects, some explosions and stuff, and you know, it's just a fun movie to watch during the summertime or something. You know, last time I knew it was like 2.2 million people watched it in the opening weekend of that movie, and because it's 4 hours long, I feel like it's gonna take a little bit of time for more people to watch it, or a lot of people are like watching through the different parts and stuff. I do feel like it could have like shortened it down for like 30 minutes, and then I think they could have done an actual theater release. They did like a premiere, like, but it was for charity the day of release. But they not. I guess Warner Bros. Doesn't want to put it out there and claim that it way too long. But I mean, you look at Lord of the Rings. They released that not too long ago, and people went and watched it. And a lot of times they do the extended cut, so it went from a 3 hour long movie to like a 5 hour long movies. I really don't think it being that long really gonna cause a lot of problems. I think people would just have a choice. They could watch it on HBO Max or watch it in theaters, and I think a lot of people would watch it in theaters. And also, people complain about how the ratio for Snyder Cut. The thing is, what people not realizing is like, oh well, this is like me watching on my old '90s TV set. It's like no, because actually that was a smaller ratio, where this is a much bigger ratio than that. You actually get more picture of it, you get more view of it, and it's actually more in line with the IMAX movie theaters. Zack Snyder just wanted the people, because there wasn't going to be a theater release of it, he wanted to give the people the best viewing that be like going to the movies and stuff. Although I do agree that maybe since it wasn't going to go out in theaters, they could just went and changed the aspect ratio. But the thing is, you can, all TVs have this. There should be like a display button or a aspect ratio button or in the menu where you can change it, and you just click on zoom, and that will give you that like 16:9 ratio. I don't think that was a big deal. I watched it both ways. I think people would enjoy one way, either way, and I think people are just making a little bit too big of a deal on that. But yeah, hopefully we will get more Zack Snyder stuff, DC movies. I know that HBO, I read that HBO Max want to do more Snyderverse stuff and Justice League Part 2 and 3 and stuff. And I do agree that they should have at least made like a Man of Steel 2 or like Wonder Woman before and then Batman vs Superman kind of thing. Like at least introduce them in Man of Steel 2. Then we go into Batman vs Superman. But I thought it was alright. Like again, we don't have to be like Marvel. And the thing is, like Marvel only had like three movies beforehand. Cause like Iron Man 1, Captain America 1, and Thorn was the only ones. There might have been one other. I don't actually include the Hulk movie with Edward Norton. I think a lot of people do, but I don't. One, I don't like the Hulk, and two, it's not Mark Ruffalo, and I think they in a totally different universe. I don't recall it ever really both characters really being in the same universe. So it's not like again people are like, oh, I need to build up to it. I feel like if they just allow Zack Snyder to do what he wanted, it would have been built up. And it's just that Warner Brothers like, oh no, they just put out the Avengers, we gotta put something out, we gotta do something now. They just didn't take their time. And like I said, that wasn't Zack Snyder's doing, that was Warner Brothers. And we know for a fact how much Warner Brothers likes to interfere with those directors' movies and not allow them to really do the whole thing. I mean, why hire someone, a director whose job is to create something and not allow them to create it? That's all I got for right now. Thank you for listening. I do apologize for this not being like our regular podcast. We will have it going back next time. We release each month on the 6th of each month. We are going to be doing a new thing called Geeking Around Light, LITE. This will be like just a 15 minutes thing where we talk about breaking news or something. Just talk about that one little topic, and that will be released once a month too on the 20th. And hopefully we will be able to do more than that. We're trying to do more content for the channel and stuff, and so hopefully more people will watch it and listen to it. And you can listen both this podcast and this upcoming Geeking Around light version both on YouTube and in an audio format, just audio on your favorite podcast app like Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, you name it. We try to get on all as many as possible. Yeah, thank you for listening. Check out the Zack Snyder Justice League. Like I said, it's great. I absolutely loved it. Really hope Warner Bros. Does, get their heads out of the ass and do more. But yeah, like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Share it to everyone that into geek stuff. And we do so many other things. Anime, comics, video games, movies and TV shows. And also check out my web comics, and a lot of times I am doing a Kickstarter, so if you just look in the descriptions or show notes, it will be a link to a Kickstarter that I am doing. And also there's the store where you can get geeking around t-shirts and stuff, and we will be adding more on there. Right now there's like t-shirts and hoodies and stuff. Also we got a buy me coffee where you can donate money to us to help keep this going. And I also do commissions, so if you want anything from graphic design, comic book, manga, anime illustrations, or video editing or podcast editing, I have a link where you can email me, or make sure, like I said, just check out the links below and you can find everything you need to find there. And that's it. We'll see you next time. See ya.